In this section, we're going to talk about other team members that you need to have. Okay. Um, the best advice I can give you on this, guys, is to figure out who your competitors are using, who are the competitors that are ahead of you are already using, because you want to be able to use those same type of companies or same type of organizations, softwares, to be able to run your organization effectively as well. Again, we're talking about modeling after other successful companies that have already figured out the secret sauce and how to run a successful business in this industry. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, guys. So what other team members, I just made that one word. I'm just going to leave it. Team members. What other team members do you need in order to run a successful organization? Okay. So let's start with number one. Okay. Number one, you need a great CPA. Okay. Number two, you need a great attorney. Okay. Number three, you need a great designer. Okay. Graphic design. And again, this is all dependent on your organization, guys. This is just, I'm giving you a general idea of what you really need for a modern day type business. Okay. Um, these are becoming more and more important. Or an ad agency. Okay. Um, and I'm going to show you guys some places where you can find this work at a fraction of the cost. Okay. So, but let's just walk through each one of these guys. When we're talking about a CPA, I am not talking about H&R Block, right? Just going to H&R Block and saying, hey, I'm starting a business, help me run my business, right? Again, the CPA has to be specific to your business. Make sure you find a CPA that understands your business and what it does. If you're in an IT business, they need to be familiar with IT jargon. If you're in the food business, they need to be familiar with the laws around taxing food, or just anything about food, right? Make sure you hire someone who has current clients that are in your industry. Okay. If you and I'll kind of explain how to find this stuff, but if your competitor is using a certain CPA, you might not be able to afford them, but you can call that CPA and say, hey, do you guys have a sister company or a smaller company in this industry that you know of that you can refer us to that does similar type work, right? A lot of times certain CPAs will only, like my CPA, he'll only work with people that are making 5 million or more. For a lot of people that are just getting started, you can't use that CPA. You got to go use a different CPA. So again, reach out to different CPAs, but even better, make sure you do your homework before you even reach out. Okay. Make sure that they're responding in a timely manner. A lot of CPAs and attorneys are notorious for never responding, right? The not good ones, at least. Avoid trying to do your taxes yourself. I know there are cool softwares out there now, TurboTax, or I don't know what they're called, but where you can do it on your own. Again, if you are not a CPA or an expert, you're going to lose money trying to do it all on your own, because you're not going to know the new tax laws. You're not going to know something that just came out last week. You don't go to all these big educational summits that these CPAs do multiple times a year to learn little ways to work the tax system in your advantage, in your favor. Okay. So again, don't try and do these things on your own. Okay. And a lot of people ask me, well, how do I find out what CPA my competitor uses? It's not that hard, guys. And I'll tell you, it's the same for attorneys. Okay. If you want to find out who they're using, you can call the company. And this is what I do. Hey, if I had an accounting document that I needed to send you guys, where do I send it to get to your CPA firm, right? Sometimes the clerical worker will say, well, who are you? Blah, blah, blah. A lot of times they'll just say, oh, yeah, just send it over here. We use these guys. Okay. And I've done this many times, guys. And you can call multiple times, and sometimes you'll get the right person, second, third call. Same with an attorney, right? The second one in this list, I can call and say, hey, I have a legal document to send you guys. can I get the email address or the phone number to your guys' counsel so that I can send this over to them? And most of the time they say, oh, okay, cool. Here's the number, right? Then you find out who their firm is. You call that firm and said, hey, I'm starting a company that's this. What can you do for me? How much would you charge? Blah blah blah. If it's too expensive, do you know of anybody that does similar type work on a smaller scale, because I'm just starting my business? Okay. Again, guys, it's not that hard to find this stuff out. And a lot of people think that might not be ethical. But again, my question is, if I had an accounting document or if I had a legal document, where would I send it? Okay. I'm not lying. I'm not trying to tell them that, hey, I'm an attorney and I'm going to do this and that, and I need to give you something. I'm asking a simple question, and sometimes they'll give me the answer. So now that moves us to the next one in line, which is the attorney. Okay. Again, these are very, very important, guys. And you got to make sure that you're not just choosing anybody to do this type of work for you. Know what your company's legal needs are. For example, if you own a tech company, you may need a corporate attorney firm that specializes in IP, intellectual property rights, and licensing, and not so much in other areas of corporate law. If you own a manufacturing business, you may only need a contracts expert to assist in client negotiations and agreements or maintaining records, right? So it all depends on what industry you're in, right? If you're trying to do a patent, go to a patent attorney. Make sure that whatever it is that you're, and I use multiple attorneys. I don't have just one attorney that does everything, right? I do have one attorney that does all of my contracts because he knows contract law. Again, there's a lot of these kind of things, guys. You just got to make sure that you're using the right person. Okay. Questions to ask an attorney when you're trying to decide on one. One would be, what legal guidance does my company need? Okay, regarding employees, contractors, government regulations, taxes, warranties, and so forth. A lot of different things, but what guidance does my company need to avoid future liability? Okay, that's why you hire an attorney, to protect you against liability. Okay, so might as well just write this for you guys. Okay, so attorney questions. Okay. Number one, right? What legal guidance do we need to avoid liability? Okay. And let them tell you. Again, you pay an attorney to do something because they have all the knowledge and know-how on how to protect yourself. Okay. Next question. Where are there efficiency and competency gaps in a company's daily operations? Okay. So weak points in business. In your daily business, what are things that, other companies similar to mine have made mistakes on? What are things that I need to watch out for, right? So ask them about that. You're trying to figure out that whether or not this attorney is knowledgeable in what it is that you're doing, okay? Because they're going to be able to talk a big game, but you just have to make sure that they understand that you understand your stuff as well, and you want to make sure that they are the best fit for you, okay? Third question. You want to talk to them about your short and long-term goals for the business and see what their ideas are. Okay. So because this will give them a really good idea of what's going on. If you're building a business to sell within 2 years, a lot of that stuff they're going to want to know, because they're going to give you different advice depending on what it is that you're trying to get out of this business, right? If you're just trying to build it and pull as much cash as you can out of it and invest it and do all these different things, that attorney needs to know so that they can set you up with the right entity structure, working with the CPA, set you up with the right tax situation so that you're not getting killed on liability or taxes. Okay. So share your short and long-term goals and see what they suggest on that. Now, these are some questions too that they may or may not be able to answer. Okay. Capital requirements and flow. Okay. So how that money is going to come in and flow, they need to understand all of that so they can set up your operating agreements and everything in a way that it's going to make sense for everybody, for every party that's involved in this entity. Okay. And I can keep going on, guys. There are a lot of different questions that you can ask, but this is a good one: the timing of company sale. Okay, because when you're leading up to a sale of a company, a lot of times things change, and the attorney's going to need to know that so that they can change accordingly with whatever it is that you're planning to do with your business, and especially when you're planning on selling it. Okay, so the best way to find attorneys is the same way I told you to find a CPA. Find your competitors, call multiple offices and say, hey, if I had a legal document, where would I send it? And a lot of times you'll find that a lot of your competitors may be using the same attorney, and that should be telling to you that that attorney over everybody else knows what the heck they're doing. Otherwise, they wouldn't have earned the business of all your competitors. So you should jump right in that boat, hold on, and ride on their coattails so you can, figure out the same advantages that they're taking advantage of in order to get ahead in the industry, and why. I mean, that it'll tell you why they are so ahead of everybody in that industry that you're getting into. So another place that you can find um, attorneys is just online. I mean, Google it, Gin Mentality. There's a couple websites you can go on. Avo.com, Nolo.com is another place that you can go. But again, when you go to your initial consultation, just make sure that you have questions prepared, very detailed questions prepared, so that they can prove to you that they know what it is that they're doing. And get this. So an example of this, guys, is I started a business in Italy, right? So, but I needed to have an attorney and CPA here in the mainland that knew Italian law, right? So I start calling around to all these attorney firms, and a lot of them, almost all of them would tell me, oh yeah, we can handle that. Our international branch, our international guy, guru, can handle that. And, but I don't ever trust what anyone says until I know that they know what they're doing, So I start asking questions. I've researched, right? I know some of the Italian law already, and they have this VAT tax. They have SRLs, or like different types of entities that we don't have in the United States. So I start asking them questions about these things, and I can quickly tell, even over the phone, if they don't know what they're talking about, right? So what they're trying to do, a lot of times an attorney firm will tell you, yeah, Mo, I know what you're doing in Italy. Like, we can do it. We've done this before. And then you put in a what's the word? A retainer, and now all of a sudden you're paying that attorney firm, okay, that law firm, to get educated, right? So you're paying for their education. So they take your money, they go spend hours and hours and hours and hours researching, because in reality, they really don't know what they're doing in Italy, but they're glad to take your money and figure it out, right? So then you end up wasting a lot of money and time, right? We always go back to time and money, guys. You waste a lot of time and money because you have a law firm that's trying to educate themselves in order to serve you. Rather, if you do this right in your consultations, you find out and make sure that they know exactly what they're talking about, you can skip all that because they've already done it and they're currently doing it in this foreign country. And now you can skip all that mumbo jumbo and jump right into business, right? And I'm not wasting money and time on hours that they're trying to educate themselves on. So in any case, make sure that they know what they are talking about, okay? The next one in line is going to be a graphic designer, okay? So graphic designer, especially right now, guys, in this day and age, you have to have an amazing graphic designer, web designer. I have one, and he's amazing. He can do anything, video, media, but we also use other companies to pick up some of this work as well if it's more tedious type work. So as long as they've done similar work, again, I always say this, try and find out who your competitor's using. A lot of times you look at their website, and at the bottom of their website, it'll show, made for by, and I can even do this. Let me show you guys. I can go to a competitor website, and I can say, okay, let's do Sky Zone. Okay. We had trampoline parts before. I go to Sky Zone, and I can go to the bottom. But a lot of times, right, they pay to not have to divulge who made their website, right? So I see down there copyright. But then there are also some. Let me pull this one up. Let's look at this one. And if I go to the bottom of this one, check that out, right? Copyright Planet 3 Exchange, but site by Blue Spoke. So then I can go and see, okay, who is this company? Blue Spoke, right? And then I find out that here they are. This is the firm that did their website. How long did that take me? Probably a minute, right? Not even a minute. Now I know who their designer is. I know who did all their web work. Look, their website's over here. They did a lot of this stuff. And I can call them and say, hey guys, you guys do great work. I would love for you guys to give me a quote on my website design, on my branding design, right? So in any case, guys, it's not that hard to figure this stuff out. I always cringe when I see people trying to do all this stuff on their own or trying to guess. Again, we are not in the business of guessing and making guessing mistakes. Okay. So if you want to find a designer, find out who your competitors are using and go use them. Same with everything else. Okay. Um, there are also websites. There are also websites, guys, like Fiverr and Upwork. We'll look at those two here in a little bit, where you can find this kind of work as well. So know exactly what type of branding you need: business cards, brochures, websites, general branding, logo, social media graphics. Do you need someone for just one project, or you need it long term? You don't have to have somebody on staff if you only need one or two things, and then that's it, right? For graphic design. If you're not a heavy online type business or marketing online type business, which nowadays I don't know which businesses would be that, because most have to market online. Then you may only need a designer every now and then, so you can go to services just like the ones I mentioned before, which are Fiverr. Okay. I don't know if any of you guys heard of this one, right? So if you want to look for logo design, WordPress, voiceover, whiteboard, social media, I mean, there's a lot of different things that people here can do for you at a very low cost. Okay. Let's say I want to do logo design. I can go here and look at this: $10, $25, $70, right? And just like I say in other things, just go back and look at the reviews. The ones that have 1,000+ reviews and 5-star or close to a 5-star, right? Those are the ones that I want. 1,000+ reviews. Here he goes. Level 2 seller. This guy does logos. Here's some examples of the logos that he's done. Okay. And if I like it, then I can hire him starting at $10. Okay. Standard, platinum packages. So there's a lot of the platinum packages, 2-day delivery, unlimited revisions. A lot of times you can't find somebody that cheap to do this kind of work if you had to pay them yourselves here in your local market. Okay. But look at this: 5 creative high quality logos, unlimited revisions, stationery package, and social media kit, all in file. Okay. So there's a lot that comes with this. But again, there's so many designers on Fiverr. There's another website called, what was it? Upwork. Okay, and Upwork is a place where you can actually hire people from all over the world, right, to do certain types of work. Search and social display advertising, experienced project manager, Facebook strategist, PDF conversion, Microsoft Excel. These guys all charge hourly, but you can go in here and actually I gotta log into my account. I think I already have an account with these guys. Shit. Okay. Anyhow, sign in with email. Here it goes. Here we go. Upwork. Okay. So I had someone as a social media manager for a little bit. Again, so you can go in here and you guys can find freelancers in admin, customer support, data entry, right? Pick how long you want them to work for you. Okay. Intermediate, get estimate. Okay. And then you can get estimates on different jobs. You can find them. Logo. Let's look for logo design here as well, because that's the next thing we're going to talk about. Okay. Again, you look here, guys, and you can go in here, US only. I can take that off. I don't care what country they're from, because take a look at the difference, guys. $40 an hour, $35 an hour. Then when I go out to other countries, $5 an hour, $5 an hour, $10 an hour, $5 an hour. Again, in the digital world that we live in now, guys, really you can have people helping from wherever, depending on what type of work you need. And for those of you who are just getting started, this is a very, very good option for you guys to come in here and say, hey, I only want to spend $10 and below for somebody. I'm looking for somebody that's, earned a lot of money already, right? That way I know that they've been at this for quite a while. English level, I want them to be able to at least speak fluently. Okay. So, I mean, I can whittle this down to all the way down to here. Now I have someone that's $5 an hour. They've done over, 899 hours of work. So I know that people are actually hiring this person quite a bit to do stuff. And they have 100% client experience, in India, Bangladesh, $3 an hour for logo and brochures. So I can go through all this, guys, but again, there's no need to overpay somebody somewhere, especially if you're just getting started, if you have options like Upwork and Fiverr to get a lot of this stuff done for you guys. Okay, so be creative. Don't think that just because you're getting into business, you're all of a sudden big time and you got to spend big bucks to get some of this work done, because you don't have to. Okay. The next one, the next one is really important, guys, because social media marketing agencies right now are so important. The fastest way to sell products and services online is going through social media marketing agencies or ad agencies that sell on Google. You have to know how to do that stuff. You personally don't have to understand all of it, right? You just need to know how to interview these people, ask the right questions, make sure that they are servicing similar businesses to yours, preferably even your competitors, right? So they know exactly what's going on in that market. Okay. So a social media marketing agency is very important to find. The only hard part about this, guys, is a lot of times it's hard to find whether or not they're legit. And that's why going back to these websites like Upwork, freelancer.com, Fiverr, a lot of times those are the best places to go, because in those websites you can find these guys and they are backed by reviews. And by now, hopefully you guys can see that I'm really, really, really big on reviews. Okay. I see an 86% client, satisfaction rate. I see 100%. I'm probably going to go with the 100% person, right? This person here, let me go ahead and click on them. And they do all this type of work: book cover, poster design, brochure, logo design, vector design, graphic design. And then I can look at their portfolio. Okay. In any case, guys, just again, don't kill yourself on this kind of stuff. Make sure that you can build a very solid team, a very solid foundation of what it is that you need to get your business off of the ground and start from there. Okay. And again, don't overpay for a lot of this work. Make sure that you are only using them when you really need to, and that you're not paying them an ongoing fee if you're not really needing them every single week, every single month. Okay. So I don't know what else I can say about this, guys. Just build a good, solid team and you will succeed. Don't spend too much money. In the end, I hope you guys understand all of this and why it's so important to have all these team members. But do it right. Do it now. Okay. Start building this, but make sure that the people that you're working with know your business, know your industry, so that they can really help you out. Okay. All right. So that is building a team. Okay. And obviously in any industry, you're going to have an internal team as well that are going to be a lot of different positions, but we talked about how to find those people as well. Now let's talk about something that is even bigger. Okay.